Hello and welcome to the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different. I am your host, Carla Andrea Murphy, and we're glad that you decided to join us. We are in for a jam-packed session today. We're going to hear some information from some wonderful ladies who are going to share on various topics that will help us. We know that we have the themes of family, community, Christianity, and business. So that being said, we're going to start our first topic related to all of those topics, whether it be family, community, Christianity, or business. We know that we all have friends. And so I'm so honored tonight. We have with us Mrs. Valerie Brown Bostic. She's the first lady at the Pilgrim Baptist Church here in Buffalo, New York. She's also a servant leader. She works in the community. She helps people who are somewhat less fortunate than us or who have challenges, and she makes sure that they have the resources that they need. I know her to be a sister. I know her to be a friend. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a part of the Ministers' Wives and Widows group of Buffalo and vicinity. She's also the wife of Pastor Frank Bostic, who serves as the General Secretary for the Empire Baptist Convention. Ms. Valerie, she's always giving a lending hand. So without any further ado, Ms. Valerie, we thank you for joining us, and we're going to hear from you on the topic of friendship.
Wow, Carla Murphy, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I must say, I've never been introduced so elegantly ever in my life. And I appreciate that. And I'd like to thank you for having me a guest on your show. And kisses to Mrs. Elise Fears and Mrs. Brenda Billups. And I'm just so happy to be with you guys today. And so I was talking about friendship. That is very broad. So I'm going just to start with, I did a little research when Carla asked me about this, and I have on my phone here, and it says, what are the qualities of a true friend? So, and you know, when you talk about friendship, everybody has different types of friendships. Sometimes you have work friendships. Sometimes you have friendships with people you work out with or people who do certain things with you. And then you have those long-term friendships. Then you have those friendships from, you know, elementary school. And then you have new friendships with that evolve just out of communication with others. And I think that you just have to be willing and friendly. You know, that's basically how to begin a relationship with someone you're meeting for the first time. Just like when I met Miss Brenda for the first time, you know, it was just like, I hope I was friendly towards her. And I hope that I displayed some Christian godly qualities, and same with Elise Fear, even though I wouldn't say I would be her friend, but I definitely would have and have supported her in what I know her to, what her endeavors with the various interactions I have with her. So, and I think that's, I haven't looked at this list yet, but one of the things is supporting one another, uplifting one another, keeping one another encouraged. And that's what the Bible says to us all the time, is lift your brother up, you know, encourage one another along this journey, because as women, and as we're here, we have different generational people on the line right now. It's like what Miss Fears may be going through, I may have experienced, and I can relate to her and just encourage her to keep going, or don't give up, or this is not going to last forever, in situations where, you know, you think this is like the end of the world. And it's like, no, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, as God say, trust God, have faith in God. So you really have to really want to be friendly if you want to have friends. So some of the characteristics that that are listed are loving, respectful, positive influence, forgiving, and we know that breaks up a lot of what we might misconstrue as friendships. But if you're in a relationship with a person and you can't get to the point where you be like, you know what, I messed that up, I'm sorry. And if that person can't find it in their heart to forgive, was that ever a friendship at all? What was that? And I think as human beings, we get caught up in that a lot. We get caught up in that a lot. Reliable, a friend has to be reliable. If you, and now these are characteristics you have to judge for yourself who would truly be a quality friend. Willing to make sacrifices, loyal, inspirational, able to exercise self-control, vigilant, supportive, non-judgmental, trustworthy, cooperative, and able to exercise wisdom, even when you don't want to hear wisdom. And I guess that's another point where friendships or whatever that relationship might have been might be tested, because if you're not willing to listen to someone that's coming with you with godly advice, godly, biblical, Christian advice, then you got to be willing to listen. You got to be at least willing to listen, and then research it for yourself. Research it for yourself. So I thought that would be a good intro into talking about a true friendship, a true friendship. And then when Miss Murphy, Carla, Andrea reached out to me yesterday and asked about this topic, immediately I'm like, wow, what should I talk about? And the thing that pressed on my heart was to contact a friend of mine. And she lives in Arizona. And we went through first grade to eighth grade together at a Catholic school on the east side of Buffalo. Her dad at that time, he was a pastor, and she would invite me to church and I would go to her church. And then after eighth grade, we graduated together. And I remember we would talk on the phone for hours in like first or second, third grade. I don't know what we were talking about, but we talked for hours and hours and hours. And she would invite me to her church, and she had a beautiful voice, beautiful voice, beautiful voice. Actually, she's married to a guy that's a composer, and he's nationally known. And I'm not sure the name, so that's not why I'm not going to say her name. But I was able, as a friendship, as an interaction, she came to Buffalo about a year ago. And I thought, after all these years, where would I start with her? How would she even want to talk to me? These are the things that came into mind. And her brother was like, your friend is here. And I was like, my friend is here? I didn't know she was here. He's like, yeah, she's right over there. And it was like, there was no time lapse. We talked and talked and talked forever. And then we went out to meet afterwards. After the event that we were at, we met at Cracker Barrel. And again, it was just a release. I was able to talk to her, and it was like an equal exchange. Nobody, it wasn't like, oh yeah, my husband is this and my husband is that. No, we just truly truly enjoyed one another. It was respectful. It was loving. We went back and forth, sharing stories, talking about our children, our husbands, you know, her husband's in the ministry, my husband's in the ministry, you know, just sharing life. And I thought that was significant because that is an individual who was with me from first grade all the way to eighth grade, I tell you. And then, you know, we had that long separation, and I hadn't seen her like since I didn't go to high school with her. So this had been the first time I had seen her in years. And it just lifted my soul. And I just felt so comforted by, you know, the non-judgmental, the loving, the sacrifice that she made. You know, she told her husband, you know, I'm going to go out with my friend, you know, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing, you know. And then I have, you know, and then, you know, I'm sure you have people that you meet and, you know, you think they're your friend. They tell you all these wonderful things like, oh, you're going to be my sister forever. And then, you know, nothing. It's like, okay, what did I miss? And then, you know, when it's like, okay, what did I miss? I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. But again, if we go back to those characteristics of friendship, a true friendship, you have to be loyal. You have to be available, reliable. And I can say that about you ladies that's on the line, because I just know of the relationships that we have. And I don't know if I'm putting Carla on the spot or not, but when I met Carla, it was through a mutual friend, and it was Christmas time. And it was a Christmas giveaway of some sort. And I was directed to talk to Miss Murphy. So I talked to her, and we exchanged the information that was needed and what have you. And then after that, it's like the relationship has just been a staple in my life, you know. We even got to the point where God put us together in the workplace, and we would pray together. We would pray together, and I would just, you know, we would just encourage one another through that journey. And you know, God is still working things out. But and she's been my friend she's been my friend ever since. And those characteristics are just examples. I remember when my father-in-law died. And when, you know, people, every time it's life or death, what have you, people say, oh, whatever you need, whatever you want, whatever, you know, I'll be there for you, call me. And how many times do we really exercise that? You know, I know I really don't, but this one particular time I exercised that. Miss Murphy asked me what would I want, and I told her what it was. And you know, she was working at the daycare provider at that time, doing her visits, her church work, and I don't even know whatever else she had, but she took time out of her schedule to make me some bread pudding. And I thought that was just the best thing ever, that she did that for me. And those are the things that, you know, you do as a friend. And, you know, sometimes you just have to be, sometimes you just have to be, what is it? Just spur of the moment. We took a road trip together. How about that? In a snowstorm. I know Miss Brenda remember that because they came up later. But yes, we did. We were on that road going to Albany, and I had the bright idea, let's stop. Well, we stopped at a rest stop, and I was like, well, let's take a picture. And and you know, it was just that you have to take that that adventure thing, my family, I'll say, why you always want to take pictures? Why you always, because I want memories. I want to be able to remember that. And we have pictures of that. And I think that's the first time where I was at a roadside bathroom where they had automatic something or another. Was it automatic tissue, automatic flushing or something? So finally we made it there, and we had a great time. But that's just, somebody could have been like, no, I'm not going. And we understand that. We understand. But then again, you're at your word. We want you to be reliable. And that's just, true characteristic of friendship. Like, I know if I ask Carla something, and I think everybody else know too, because I think they take advantage of that. And I tell her that all the time, that, you can't be there for everybody, although she would like to, but I have to remind her, you can't say yes to everything. But, there's some things where if I know that I can rely on her, and I know that she can rely on you ladies that's on the line. And it's like, like the Lord says, it's just when you want to be a friend. And my daughters all the time, they tell me, I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends. And I told them just this week, I was like, well, do you show yourself friendly? And I was like, do you show yourself friendly? And that's something that the Lord says. He says, love one another as you love yourself. And that is the bottom line when it comes to having a true friendship, is loving them and going through these characteristics, being reliable, being forgiving. Sometimes as humans, we miscommunicate. And it's important that you have that friend that that's not going to be non-judgmental and come to you and talk to you and say, hey, what's going on? Because friendships are everlasting. And like I said, there's different types of friendships. I have a group of ladies that I work out with, and I consider them my friends. And I want to give them my word that if I'm going to work out with you, I want to say yes, so I can be reliable, because you have a goal to meet. And if I'm messing around, be like, oh no, I'll change my mind, I'm not going to go today. No, I have to be responsible. I have to be what's that word? I have to live up to my word. If I'm going to say I'm going to work out with you today, then yes, I'm going to work out with you today. I'm going to wake up at 6:30 in Buffalo, New York, in the cold, and we're going to walk. Yes, we are. And we did that until I fell, and I had a mishap, and I was trying to be a friend, and I told her to go the other way. So, because I had a little, I don't know if I was feeling, maybe feeling my 100%, so I didn't want her really next to me. So I told her, I was like, you go walk that way and we're going to meet. So lo and behold, I was going that way, and guess what? I took a fall. So I seen her all the way over there just walking, and I'm down on the ground, and I said, okay. So I had to muster up the strength because it was icy. So every time I tried to get up, I fell back down. So I finally got up, and by the time she got there, she's like, did you fall? I was like, yeah, I fell. And she felt so bad for the next 2 days. And I told her, don't feel that way. It was, it was ice, and it was no way you can do it. But and that touched me, because she called me, she was sincere. She was like, is there anything I can do for you? Can I bring you some icy hot or whatever? And that's just how a friend sacrifices for one another. You know what I'm saying? You just, and I hope that the same feelings, the same satisfaction, the same gracious gratitude, the same appreciation that I feel from the people I interact with, I just hope that they feel the same way. And that concludes my spot on friendship.
Wow, Miss Valerie, thank you so much. That was outstanding, outstanding. I knew that you could do it, and I knew that you were the perfect person to talk about friendship because certainly you've been a friend to me. And anyone who will get into a vehicle
Mhm.
during the winter storm, travel from Buffalo to Albany, and take the wheel, that's a friend. And yes, she did have me outside of the car in an unknown place. We were just looking around. It definitely was something to be concerned about. However, we made it. So thank you for the times that we've shared. And it's been an amazing journey. And I'm looking forward to going further and further, higher and higher with you, Miss Valerie Brown Bostic. So thank you for being my friend.
Mwah. Love you.
Mwah.
Thank you. Love you guys too.
That's just awesome. And as we segue into another portion, I just wanted to highlight that I have a group called Youngpreneurs Alliance, Youngpreneurs Alliance. And it's made up of young people who are involved in business, who want to be in business, who have businesses, who are trying to grow businesses, who may be struggling in business. And they range from the ages of 6 up until 25. And I'm just so happy that we do have a youngpreneur by the name of Miss Eva Joy Bostic. She's the daughter of Miss Valerie Brown Bostic. Yay. And she has a business called Golden Triangle. And at a later date, we'll have Miss Eva on so that she can tell us all about it. But I'm so excited about it that I can't keep it to myself. So Miss Eva, her business, Golden Triangle, she has a lip care line. So we know that oftentimes people make lip gloss and they sell it. However, this little genius, she makes lip scrubs, lip gloss, and lip conditioners. Did I get that right, Miss Valerie?
Yes, you did. Yes, it's a lip care line.
I am just so excited about that. So we're going to be hearing more about Miss Eva Joy Bostic, our youngpreneur. She is so active in ministry. She's 12 years old. She's active in her church. She's active in her local association. She's active in her state convention. And I know that Miss Eva is going to do wonderful things. And we're going to help her to get where she's trying to go. We're going to help her to fulfill all of her dreams because she is uniquely different. So thank you, Miss Valerie, for even supporting Miss Eva's idea. We know that oftentimes it's not just the youngpreneur, it's the families that care and share also. So we thank you for that. And we thank you so much for being here with us today. Our next guest is going to talk to us. She's actually another partner in ministry. She is the president of the Young People's Auxiliary for the Empire Baptist Convention of New York. She is active in her community. She is a government civil servant. She is a connector. And this person is in the name of Miss Elise Fears. She is going to talk to us today about connecting government and the faith-based community. So Miss Elise, welcome to the show today and take it away.
Hi, thank you again for having me here. Greetings and blessings to each and every one of you. Ms. Bostic, thank you so much for talking so much about friendship because it actually kind of speaks to a lot of what I do in the community, and that's building those relationships, right? You go out, you have those conversations, you have those one-on-ones, right? And you get understanding of the various community members and you get an understanding of their needs. And then you begin to work with each other. And before you know it, you're talking to them every other day. And then before you know it, you're building even greater relationship. And overall, you all work with you end up with a common goal, and that's creating and establishing something that's a benefit to the community, right? And I think that's amazing that even within the faith-based community, we get to work with all the congregants that gather together, and we all have our personal things, and faith-based leaders being the driving force behind finding resolutions to some of the issues within all those little pockets of our community, of our neighborhoods, and working in a government office where I'm already familiar with faith-based networks, but still being able to connect with other leaders in the faith-based community What a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of our faith-based leaders are driving forces behind a lot of legislation, a lot of policy that happens across the state and across the nation. So it can be ranging from criminal justice reform, advocacy for funding for schools, and advocacy for fair housing and grocery stores, right? On within our food deserts, right? Within the city of Buffalo, within the city of Lackawanna. And that's great. And that only happens because we're interacting with community members, we're interacting with pastors, we're interacting with leaders, and you get that understanding, you're building those relationships, and you're building community. Not only that, we're going out to being able to go out and work with smaller organizations to make sure that we're servicing our communities on a greater level, providing food. And that's huge. And it's big for me because not only am I able to work within the faith-based community with all of you whom I love so dearly, but to be able to take that and to apply it to my work, right? To apply it to my career. It's that mentality, it's that thought, it's that heart that's put into us, instilled in us when we're younger, that we now represent God, and everything that we do is displayed within our work. So when we're connecting the faith-based community and our government agencies and all these different community organizations, we're having these conversations about our needs, we're able to access, and we're able to build. And I think that's huge. You can't have a community without being able to build, without creating avenues for growth and development. And it's a great opportunity, even this platform here, to continue in building on our relationships and have an understanding of some of the businesses. And Miss Eva, shout out, kudos, and creating those businesses. So helping to find funding or connecting you with agencies that would allow you to grow and register your business as an MWBE. So those are huge, and building on those networks are very important. I encourage everyone to continue to grow and to continue to connect and build with everyone to help to continue to build community.
Amen.
Thank you, Miss Elise. So, Miss Elise, can you tell us a little bit more about NBWE? Is that what you said? Tell us about that.
MWBE, minority women owned businesses. So that's generally where over about 51% of the business that you have is owned and operated either by a woman or a minority, Black, brown person. Within that, there are particular tax credits, there's funding opportunities that is available for you if your business falls within those guidelines. And you can actually find more information about that on Empire State Development website, so esd.ny.gov, and it breaks down opportunities specifically for that program. And there's workshops that happen periodically throughout the year that can either also help to manage your specific business and your needs and help grow.
So, Miss Elise, for the viewers and the listening audience, again, can you repeat that website that you just said?
Sure. It's Empire State Development. So you want to go to ESD, E as in elegant, S as in Sam, D as in dog, .ny.gov. That's also where you'll find grant opportunities.
Thank you so much. So when it comes to grant opportunities for small businesses, are there any tips that you can offer in terms of getting those grants?
I would say go through the pre-qualifying process, again, on that site, making sure that you have your business plan outlined, making sure you fully assess your needs, and staying on top of your request. So when you're requesting funding or even applying to like foundation aid, so like if you apply for something, for example, through the Oshai Foundation or what is it, something of Greater Buffalo, I forget the name, I apologize, but the same process. Some businesses They apply, they get accepted, but then they don't go and accept the grant and move forward with the funding. So I say stay on top of that. Make sure every little information that you have about your business, finances, all of that's together, so that when you're applying, you're doing it completely, and just checking in every once in a while. Make it a priority to check on these sites and check for these grants every other week, because they come up so fast, and you don't want to lax and then the due date to be tomorrow and you have to fill out this 50-page application or something like that. It's not complicated. I don't want to deter you from doing that. I just stay on top of it. And I think that's the best way you can go about of obtaining funding for any small business.
Thank you, Ms. Elise. That's very important. As a business developer, I can say consistency is absolutely necessary. In the words of my business mentor, Dr. James McConnell, one of my business mentors and one of my partners at NBC Global Enterprises, he would tell us consistency is what will help you to succeed. So it's wonderful to have an idea. It's wonderful to have a dream, but you have to put some work into it. You have to be consistent. You have to hold yourself and your partners and your leaders accountable. You have to be committed. And again, I say you have to be consistent, because we may be a little laxed in doing some things. However, in business, if we're going to make money, we have to be consistently doing work in order to see the results that we expect. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's like awesome information. And we know we'll be looking forward to hearing more from you, Ms. Elise Spears, and we're wishing you all the best and great success in your endeavors as you move forward to lead young people and to resource those in your community, whether they be young or old, middle age. And so we just pray your strength and that the Lord will bless you and keep you and give you the wisdom, knowledge, understanding that you need in order to be a highly effective, powerful political leader. So thank you, Ms. Elise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Our next guest is from Rochester, New York. We know her to be active in her community. We know she's not a stranger to the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different. We're just so happy to have Ms. Brenda Billups, who's with us today. Ms. Brenda Billups is an officer and a leader among Toastmasters, and we know that they are very influential in terms of helping people to become leaders and helping people to develop good public service, public speaking skills. There are so many other things that Toastmasters that they do to help to shape, mold, develop, and resource people. And Ms. Brenda Billups, we're honored to have her today to talk to us about the art of communication. So Ms. Brenda Billups, we are just anxiously awaiting to hear about the art of communication.
Good evening. And thank you for having me, Carla Murphy, on this great program, Being Uniquely Different. First, I'm going to use my communication skills to give a shout out to Tatiana Williams. That is one of the young entrepreneurs that is part of Carla Murphy's services. Her business name is The Real Elite Beauties. Since a very young child, I would say at the age of 4, she was doing nails. She was putting on makeup. She was trying to braid hair. Anything that she could do to look different and beautify herself. Now at the age of 23, she decided to venture out with some of her endeavors to become a business owner. She does t-shirts, she'll be doing mugs, a lot of other things, but I'm proud about young entrepreneurs because that is the way of the world now. And we're taught that we need more than one source of income to make it these days.
That's it.
So I am so proud of Carla Murphy and the circle that she's making with these young people, coaching them, pushing them, and insisting that they reach their goals. So I am proud of her and the young entrepreneurs that you will see later on this show.
Thank you.
Communication, a method of talking to each other, a method of presenting yourself. Without some communication skills, you can't go very far in business or being your own business owner. For one, you need very, very good listening skills. You need to listen so you would know what you're talking about. Or if you are helping someone, if you're not listening, how can you give them the proper information? You have to talk straight to a person. As we would say in the days, don't beat around the bush. And that's what we do when we're not giving the right information. And what you don't know, please don't try to talk about it. Because sometimes that is a way of beating around the bush to make someone think you know something that you don't. That is not good communication skills. Have the right frame of mind when you enter some conversations, especially if you're trying to present yourself in a business way. Sometimes your emotions, you would need to keep tabs, because sometimes your emotions may not fit the conversation that you're about to have with someone else. You have to learn the people that you're talking to sometimes. Because sometimes when a person starts to speak, we start to build a defense before they can complete what they need to say. And that can hinder the communication that you may have back to that person, change that conversation around when it should not be, or you don't need to do so. How you speak to a person makes a difference. Val, being friendly comes out in your voice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to speak with a friendly voice. Not only show yourself friendly, you have to talk yourself friendly. That is the best way to meet a friend. Hello, how are you? How are you today? That perks up an ear. Hey, how you doing? That's second thoughts. I don't know if I want to talk to this person or not, because they did not show themselves friendly in their voices. Even when speaking on the phone, you can tell that friendly voice. It goes a long way. It can open many doors. You need your communication skills not only in your private life, but in your business life as well. Because when you go for an interview, you need to speak up and speak out. We learned in our day not to brag on ourselves. That's the term they use. You can't brag on yourself. It did not make you look good in the day. But now, they use the term you have to sell yourself as far as your skills, what you can do to get this job. If you're going for an engineering job, you look up the company, see what they do. Don't go first asking, what do you pay and what are my hours? No, you have to boost yourself. Use your communication skills to let them know that you know what you're talking about. You know a little bit about their business. and what services you can offer to them to make yourself shine in their business and also make the business prosper. So communication skills are very important today. If you know you have an interview, or say you're in a workplace and you need to give a presentation, practice. Get in the mirror. Smile. Check out your voice. Even if you don't have a recorder, if you plug your ears and talk, you can hear yourself. Mm-hmm. And it will let you know how you sound. Put on your best clothes, not your saggy pants, nor your short skirt. Make yourself presentable. Look like your voice. Look like that resume. Because not only is it coming from your mouth, communication comes from the body. Sometimes you can tell more about a person from the way they move, mm-hmm. from the way they act, and never have to say a word. That is a form of communication as well. But look on the bright side of life and become your self-communicator. Now, I'll tell you a story about myself. I wanted to be an architect. I was accepted into Wayne University. When they sent me the list of classes I needed to take, English was one of them. I said, what does that have to do with me drawing pictures, putting paintings on the wall, and dressing my dolls? What does that have to do? When I questioned that, I was told, who's going to explain your drawings? Who's going to sell what you're trying to get across? I said, I will hire me a person to speak for me because I don't need to talk. I need to do these things, but I will let someone else present these things. That's because I was not a talker. And I never thought of that part. English was an okay subject for me, but I had a fear of speaking to people. But lo and behold, a few years later, you have to stop me from talking. That's why I had to join Toastmasters, so I can be conscious of my time, conscious of what I'm saying, conscious of how I'm saying it, because I have to be very forward. I have to be friendly, and I have to let them know that I am who I am and I can do what I say I'm going to do. So practice your communication skills. Be friendly. Val, you did an awesome job on telling us how to be a friend. That is a very broad word. Mm-hmm. Because some people pick up a friend today and they don't have that friend tomorrow. I always taught my kids the best friend you can have is Jesus. Mm-hmm. Because man can disappoint. That way you're not disappointed when that friend fall off the wayside. So continue your friendly ways, because when I met you, yes, you did seem friendly. And at least being a young person as you are, some of them are not very friendly because your face have to show it. Mm-hmm. And when Miss Murphy called on your name, you put the biggest smile on your face as if she was Oprah Winfrey and you were on their own station.
Hey, get there.
Exactly. That's where we're headed. Thank you again, Miss Murphy, for this opportunity to speak on being uniquely different.
Thank you, Miss Brenda. That was amazing. It really was amazing. And the art of communication is so important because communication really does fuel relationships. It refuels relationships in the workplace, in the community, in the church, within friendships, and let's bring it on home within the family. And so we know that all of those forms of communication are very important. And you really can't have one without having the other. What you say really should align with um, your body movements. So the smile, the friendliness, the warmth. And one thing I'm often reminded of is the fact that sometimes when you smile at people, it really lifts their spirit. It really helps them to have a good day. We don't know the struggles that people go through, and our words and our actions, when they align, that really is powerful and it is life changing and it's encouraging and it helps people to go on a little while longer. So, Miss Brenda, thank you so much for that. The art of communication is very important. Saying what you mean, meaning what you say, being respectful, being polite, being friendly, all of those things and all of these topics tied in together. And that really made me happy today is that these topics, we were able to support one another. And that's what it's all about, sisters supporting sisters. And no matter where you are, no matter what age you may be, the reality is we all need each other. We are all uniquely different. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made. We're all one of a kind. And it takes each of us to make the world go round. So, Miss Brenda Billups, if someone has interest in becoming a part of the Toastmasters group, can you please tell us the best way for them to make that happen, whether it be contacting someone or the steps that they need to take to become a member of Toastmasters?
Yes, there is a website, www.toastmasters.org, that will give you some information about Toastmasters. It will also tell you what Toastmasters Club is near you. There's a segment that would say search for locations, and it will give you the locations near you. If you would like that friendly voice to talk to you about Toastmasters, I am a member of two clubs here in Rochester. One is Frederick Douglass Toastmasters Club, and the other one is Sylvester Anderson Voices to Be Heard. You can reach me at Billups, that's B like boy, ILLUPS, at frontiernet.net. And I will be more than happy to talk to you about Toastmasters. Now, since the pandemic, we are able to enroll members into our clubs that's virtual, because we are mostly virtual now. We do have some hybrid clubs, but most of our clubs are virtual now. And in some of our clubs, we have members from Houston, Texas, from Richmond, Virginia, from, I believe, Charleston, South Carolina. So you can hook up with us from any location. We would love to have you, because that is where we say leaders are made.
I love it. Thank you, Miss Brenda. Thank you so much. So for the viewers and the listening audience, if you're looking to connect with Toastmasters, the Rochester groups are a wonderful and amazing place to be, to help you to become who you want to be, to help you to become an effective speaker, to help you to become a phenomenal leader. So please reach out and connect to get more information. Check the website, and then you have a contact at Miss Brenda Billups. So thank you. Miss Valerie Bostic, I wanted to ask you, for those people in the Buffalo, New York area who may be seeking a church home or seeking a friendly place to come where they have some ministering going on, what is the best way to contact Pilgrim, your church?
We are YouTube would be the best way right now. So if you go to the search engine, you put in Pilgrim Baptist Church, Buffalo, New York, our emblem shows up, and and it'll bring you to the site. And there on the site, you can catch previously recorded sermons anytime, all day. And then, of course, on Sunday mornings, we do go live with Facebook as well. So you just have to, search Pilgrim Baptist Church, Buffalo, New York. That's important that you can put in Buffalo, New York. And then you can follow us on Facebook, or you can tune in live on YouTube.
Well, thank you so much. We are preparing to come to the close of another great show. And I just want to thank you all for coming, sharing with us, for being an inspiration to not only me, but to our viewers. We are just looking forward to more greatness. We're looking forward to the Lord blessing the work of your hands, enlarging your territory, and increasing your coast, particularly as we all move forward. We know that throughout this pandemic, things can be challenging, but because we have Jesus Christ in our life as the head of our life, we know that he is all that we need. He is wonderful. He is mighty. He is strong. And all of those characteristics and qualities that we know Jesus to have, we know that he's put them in us. And so, ladies, I'm just looking forward to gelling with you. And as we often say on the Carla Murphy Show, Uniquely Different, we say, let's gel. So let's grow, let's earn, let's learn together. I'm looking forward to gelling with each of you. And what I am looking to do is, for anyone who is seeking someone to help them to develop their business, who's seeking someone to help them to get into the media business, please give me a call. My number is area code 716-553-3109. That's 716-553-3109. Or you can contact me at Carla Murphy Uniquely Different at gmail.com. Carla Murphy Uniquely Different at gmail.com. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So this has been another amazing night. We want you all to just be safe. We're looking forward to seeing you again. I want us to all hold on to what we've learned. We're going to be better communicators. We're going to be better friends. We're going to be better people to resource each other and one another. So if each one reaches one, we will be even greater. The world will be even brighter. And so as we move forward and we hold the hands and hold up the arms of our youngpreneurs, we're going to be seeing some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things coming from Miss Eva Joy Bostic with Golden Triangle Lip Care. We're also going to see some amazing things coming from Miss Tatiana Williams from the Real Elite Beauties LLC. So if you're looking for eyelashes, you're looking for lip gloss, you don't have to look any further. Just contact us and the Uniquely Different Show, Carla Murphy. We will be there to help you. So again, until we meet again, God bless you all and have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
show.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.